then we had our friends. Yeah, they're cool, bro. I like them.
You know what? That's a great. I'll buy a third one. I might give one away one day.
We had our friends. Oh, I keep doing that when I share yours. We had our friends at Goblin Town. So yeah, I mean Goblin Town. Very briefly, they created the free mint meta. And really were the talk of the town when the bear market started, went all the way to 6 or 7 or 8 Ethereum. No one knew who the founders were. Everyone thought it might have been people and all the rest. Anyway, like everything else, they've slowly been bleeding, and they had a hang of a lot of FUD in the last 2 to 3 weeks because they came out and changed the metadata to enforce royalties, and everyone was like, hold on, I thought the fact that I own an NFT, the whole point of owning an NFT is that no one can change it. And everyone sort of realized, yes, it can be changed. And they got a lot of that, right? So now what they've done, which I think is so cool, I want it to load, is they've created this revenge of the serious investor, okay? So you go to, and I will put it in the main video within the next 24 hours. I'll put it there just so you don't go to any wrong links, right? But it says Revenge of the Serious Investor, and then you enter here through the door. And basically, the more money you've lost on NFTs, the higher your score. And the top 1,000 people who have lost the most will be eligible to get a free something or something or something or something. So I just like how it's completely the opposite to what everyone else is doing. Let's just speed this up because it's going really slow. And then you have to apply for a job at Big Incorporated, which is the company that you apply to, and you have nothing left to lose. So you apply to Big Inc, right? And then it gives you a score, and you can see that the scoreboard over here. But they've also gotten rid of like guys who just like clearly like they rejected Pranksy and Machi Big Brother and Franklin is bored. They're really big people, but these are the people who are down the most. So Pranksy got 20 million points. So this is their points in Big Incorporated. So I don't really know what that equates to a dollar value of how much Pranksy has lost. But also remember, I'm sure Pranksy has many wallets, and she, because it's a girl, might have just admitted her worst wallet there. So it's hard to know. We've got Dingaling in second place as the worst, Machi Big Brother in third, and so on and so forth. And then it tells you, so anyone can apply, and it's still open. So it's worth doing it. You connect your wallet, you sign, and it tells you how they get the points. So first of all, the worst of the people who have applied, the ones who have lost the most are Moonbirds. People who bought Moonbirds have lost the most. All-time high 40 Ethereum, currently sitting at 2.5 ETH. Then you got Doodles, all-time high 25 Ethereum.
Are you sharing your screen on the right page, by the way?
Yeah, okay. I'm showing you. If I
under my screen now, I was looking somewhere else.
It's quite small. Yeah, I mean, thank you for pointing out, but yeah, and then Clone X 87% down, and then it tells you here. Okay, I'll play the video, but I won't play the whole thing because I will be demonetized and I can't really have sound. Okay, we'll just have it playing and going there. But basically, like a normal corporation, and you can apply, and they want to know why you want a job at Big Incorporated. So do you have what it takes? Of course you do. We'll find a home for everyone where they can be used. If you don't have any skills, it's not a problem. As Will Durant said in the last analysis, civilization is based upon food supply. You're just all trying to make it professional when it's really like, a big joke and a big meme, which is cool. And then you can also see what you get. So that's one of the things you could get. I've always liked the truth artwork. I think they really are pretty cool. So yeah, man, just something different in the space. Nice to see. You know, these guys have really been builders in the space for a long time. I'm not saying that this new collection is going to 10x or anything like that. I just like seeing something that's completely different to anything we've seen before. It hasn't really affected the floor price very much. We'll just let it load. The floor price is 0.28 Ethereum. Um, and if we have a look at the activity, we'll just see if anything else has changed. We've got a new person who's loading up winter bears because of Cade. Everyone can thank Cade for this.
Winter bears, baby. Winter bears. Goblin Town would come in with like a. I guess we'll kind of expose the fact that most people are just like strategically trading and very much down, but also the fact that like, you know, Machi's probably made a lot of money, but he's also probably just has specific wallets that like only sell like for tax harvesting, and so he can just claim huge losses kind of thing. And like you only need to like if he took a big fat L on like a Bored Ape flip or something, and he lost a lot of money, he still kept like retained a lot of his money, but he's able to like, you know, rise up the list as like worst traders ever.
Bad ones. These guys were buying to hold. You know, if you've got $20 million plus, and you want to invest $100,000 in NFTs,
yeah,
you're not. I don't know that you're sitting there trying to buy and sell the high and the low. You believe in it, you're buying. I think guys are down a lot worse than people realize. I really do. I think the big traders, I mean, we've seen it. We've seen Franklin's down to 2 apes. He says he's in big financial problems. He said that he got screwed over in the online casino thing recently. I don't know, bro, whatever. But there's one, we've got Machi Big Brother saying he's no longer doing blur farming. He's losing too much. So, I mean, the biggest guys in the space that know what they're doing. And if you think like you and I make a bad trade and we lose 0.1, 0.2, you think guys like this make bad trades, they lose 1,000, 2,000 ETH in total. You know, not on one trade, but I'm saying, you know, in total, if we're losing, you know, 0.1, 0.2 in a bad month, they're losing 1,000, 2,000, you know. It's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money. I think you're right. I think more people have lost than we thought. And
I think
they also have. I think they also have more money than we thought. Like the losses they're getting for a lot of people, they're just like, eh. Some people are fucked. Like I think Franklin might have actually fucked himself a little bit based on like what I've seen on Twitter. But I think some of these people who are just down bad just have unbelievable amounts of money, so they're like, whatever, you know. Like I mean, I've technically lost more money in NFTs, but it's because I bought a bunch of NFTs that for relationship purposes or because I support them or whatever. But the goal was never to flip them. So it's just kind of like they're sitting there in my wallet. Like on paper, it's technically not a loss
but you still got them. And yeah, as I've said to you, I'm pretty much equal. And I 2 extra Bored Ape and I 10 extra mutants and I 5 extra lazy line and I whatever, and I'm pretty much equal. So a lot of that had to do with when I sold, ETH was way down. But whatever, it is what it is. Speaking about losing money, we have got Blur that's now launched Blend, where you can lend money from them in order to buy your CryptoPunk. So instead of having to pay 50 Ethereum for a CryptoPunk, you can pay 2 Ethereum for a CryptoPunk, and you can pay them later. Only pay them 2, and you know they'll only charge you 3% interest every single day. And if you can't pay, you will lose your 2 ETH as well as your CryptoPunk because they hold it the whole time. So yeah, I mean, look, this is definitely not something that I would get involved in unless you're a serious trader. And even so, I wouldn't touch any lending with a 10-foot pole, let alone lending on these terms. I really wouldn't. So this isn't like the farming of bids. I wouldn't get involved in this whatsoever. It is doomed to crash, in my opinion. But yeah, at least they're innovating. But yeah, this is crazy.
So you pay to ETH that goes to Blur or goes to the CryptoPunk holder?
No, so let's say you want to buy an Azuki, but you don't have 15 ETH. So you pay 2 ETH, and I would imagine, and I don't know for sure, I would imagine that Azuki goes into almost a custodial wallet of which Blur has the right to transfer it. you don't have the right to, so you can't sell that because obviously you've only paid 2. And then you'll continue paying it off until you pay it off fully, at which time it will become yours. But there's an interest on it that you have to keep paying it back. And if you don't make your repayments on time, then that NFT plus the initial 2 ETH that you paid will be forfeited. It's not sustainable, bro. There's no way it's sustainable to the user. Unless the market goes straight up, then it's very sustainable, right? But what we did see is we saw Azuki absolutely pump because they only did a few collections. It was CryptoPunks, Azuki, and Miladies. So we saw those collections pump. It was almost like the days of when something would be featured on OpenSea's front page. You knew it was pumping. But Azuki went straight back down to 15 a few days later when people realized. But yeah, the other side of it is that if you've got a punk, you could borrow 40 ETH from them immediately. So you give it to their custody, and if you don't repay the loan on it, then they will take your punk. But you could get 40 ETH from your punk immediately, and instead of selling it, as long as you repay on time, you can pay it back anytime and get it back with interest.
Yeah, I like that that Blur's trying to do different stuff because it looks like they're following a DeGod's approach where they're just throwing paint at the wall. And, you know, just because they try something and maybe it does or doesn't have interest doesn't mean it's bad that they tried it and they launched something. You know, like OpenSea is pretty much falling behind, and I think they're trying to be more of a safer alternative anyway. So I don't know if they even want to participate in this style of battle that's kind of going on. Like Blur's almost trying to take over the DJ crowd entirely. OpenSea, like for people like me who are just too nervous to use Blur because I just see so much degeneracy going on over there. And to be honest, because it's so new, I just don't trust anything on their platform yet. Because I don't know, it sketches me out a teeny tiny bit, and I don't know what I'm doing, and I don't love the UI. I don't like how dark it is. I don't know if that's just stupid to say, but I'm down that they're trying stuff, bro. But that's some straight up fucking degeneracy. So that'll be my world soon. So it is more interesting than it was a few weeks ago to me because I am thinking about trading a little bit more. I'm looking at charts a little bit more, and I'm in that world. But damn, dude, lending an illiquid asset with 3% interest per day. I'm trying to figure out who the fuck is going to use that. And like, what possible benefits could you have? So I guess if there's one specific Azuki you're trying to buy, you're just worried and you're like, no, that's the one I want. And I'm going to have the 15 ETH. I just don't have it right now. And then where you kind of lock it in so you don't miss that one for a later opportunity. I guess it could work there. But man, yeah, I'll know.
If the market is pumping, this is brilliant. It's the same as any shitcoin. I mean, it's good while it's going up because you could effectively buy an Azuki at 2 ETH, and it's worth 15 ETH as you buy it, and then the floor tomorrow is 16 ETH.
Yeah.
You could sell it at 2.2 ETH. You've paid 2 ETH, you know, and you could sell it in inverted commas. And because the floor price has gone up 10%, your 2 ETH would have gone up 10%. So it allows you to make money on a collection that you otherwise maybe couldn't afford to be involved in. And often those collections have big swings, like we've seen Bored Apes, you know, and I'm not talking about the bull market. I'm saying even in the bear market, we've seen them at 90 ETH and we've seen them at 50 ETH. So if you're playing that's 100% almost, or maybe 90% or 85%, you know, so if you could play in that casino for a tenth of the price, maybe that's attractive to some people. The problem is if the price is going down and you put 2 ETH in and the Azuki is worth 15 ETH, and then next week the Azuki is worth 14 ETH, your 2 ETH is now only worth 1.9 ETH or 1.85 ETH, and you've probably paid 0.1 or something to that effect in interest in the last week. And it's just it's not something that's sustainable in this market. It is a good thing, and we've seen other platforms do it. There's other lending platforms that have done this, and we did see how they got in trouble when it came to the market turning. So I think it's a good thing for them to have in their back pocket for when the market turns. But I don't think that it's a clever gambling thing to get into if you were a user at this point in time when everything pretty much seems to be going down, you know, constantly.
Also, just looking at Beans right there, can you give me a quick 30-second synopsis of what Beans is? I just see it all the time, and I know it. I just can't remember because it's been so long since I covered that ecosystem. But what is the story behind Beans, and what is it? Why are people buying it?
So Beans is just your mutants to your Bored Ape, right? So it's a way into the Azuki ecosystem at a 1.3 ETH floor opposed to Azuki being 15 ETH. You still have access to their Discord, to their community, and it tends to do what sub collections do. When the Genesis goes up 10%, within the next few days, you tend to see the sub collection also go up about 10%. So it allows exposure to the ecosystem for people that don't want to spend or can't have, who don't have 15 ETH or don't want to spend 15 ETH on an Azuki but want to be a part of the ecosystem. That's about a 30-second synopsis.
Got it. Cool. Thank you.
Pleasure. And yeah, I mean, it's something I have been watching. They've been pumping lately. You could have picked one up all day at 0.7 about 3 or 4 weeks ago, but Azuki's been pumping lately. They've been, really making good moves. And I think the market has finally sort of forgiven Zagabond. He's still around, and he hasn't rugged any community since Azuki. So I think everyone that was worried.
If Azuki had crashed to 1 ETH or something, bro, he would have been gone, dude. He would have been gone. Only because they stayed at a respectable floor did he stay. Because he would have rugged, bro. People don't realize if you've rugged before, that's in your back pocket, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, that one's tough, dude. I could see him running if that happened. I don't know him personally.
You know what's interesting, bro? It's just the NFT space to me is so interesting because if you think about it, in business, if you start a business and it fails, that's part of normal business. You put it in liquidation and it fails. You start another one, it does well, great. Okay, the guy's a businessman, right? But in NFTs, if you start a project or you're involved in a project, it's your first project, you don't know what you're doing, and ends up failing. Then all of a sudden now you're a raggo and whatever. It's the same thing like when someone says their founder died, no one fucking believes them because it's NFTs. I mean, and it's probably rubbish. It probably was a rag, and the guy said, "Oh, founder died, sorry," and he's gone. But where else does this happen? The Web3 space is absolutely insanity.
That's why the only project that makes sense is one where you follow the person, like Gary Vee's style. It's just like, bro, whatever Gary Vee's doing, that's what the project's supporting. So I like that style. I did that on a much smaller scale for my own self. They're very, very small collections. The idea around that is to have safety within my brand and be able to do what I want. If I have 10,000 people, it just gets more sticky, obviously. Like Gary Vee has his own share of haters and naysayers saying, this, that, and the other about VeeFriends. But I mean, that's the benefit. That's the give and take of raising, what is it, like $900 million or whatever it was, $90 million, some extraordinary number, is you do have the responsibility of dealing with the community and making sure that they're up to date on stuff. But if you have a small project and it's just like, these are art pieces to support a content creator who's going to do cool stuff in his lifetime, and he hopes to increase skills and offer cool things back for having that token gated NFT, then those are the only projects that make sense to me. I mean, everything else is just so risky. Like, unless you've got the money to be dropping 1 to 4 ETH on some of these projects that are a little bit more legitimate and at least have some liquidity trading, like if you're trying to swing trade, for example, like you can pretty much stick with like 6 ecosystems and be fine. You could stick in the Pudgy Ping ecosystem, the Utes ecosystem. I was about to say World of Women, but I don't know if that's true. Like any of those projects, 1 in 4 ETH, basically. Yeah, like they consistently pump 30% up and down, up and down, up and down. I'm like, bro, that's some great opportunities there for traders specifically. Everything below that, dude, is just high risk. If you're trading in the 0.2 to 0.7 range, you just don't know if they have the volume required to make profitable trades, because you might buy it, a rare one, and list it, and people just aren't interested in buying it. So it just depends what you're looking for in the NFT space,
For sure, but I also think that the time horizon is a big thing at the moment. I think trading has become incredibly risky because you don't know what the bottom, even if the project is between 1 and 5 ETH, you don't know what the next bottom is going to be, and you don't know what the next top is going to be. So when there used to be volume, there were certain collections you knew you could buy in at 2 and you could sell at 3 all day. And that's what I loved about Bored Ape Kennel Club, because there was 0% royalties, and they would always do that. They would always move between there, and you could really make a bag there. The problem now is if your time horizon for investing is short term, you could be stuck holding the bag. It's very risky because there isn't that sort of volume anymore.
Yeah.
If your time horizon is longer term and you don't need the capital, like you were saying. So even if you're buying at 1 ETH or let's say 2 ETH, and it goes to 1 and it stays there for 3 months before it pumps to 2.5 or 3, as long as you're comfortable to have to be in it for that amount of time, then it's a little bit less risky. But there's also the chance that that collection steps out of line. People lose their favor in their eyes, which we've seen so many times. I mean, World of Women, you mentioned, that was a 25 Ethereum project. That was one of the best ones. You know,
I mean, I bought in the other day, like on a smaller scale, like, or not the other day, a few months ago, I bought a 3D Invisible Friend at 2x the floor. The floor was around 0.2, 0.3, something like that. And I bought one at like 0.44 because I was like, oh, it's a rare one. This will be fine. And then I didn't really foresee the floor dropping to like below 0.1, where that even that rare one's not probably, I could probably sell for 0.25 now. And I'm like, some days I'm thinking about selling because I've got more than one. But it's like even projects you think are good. Like I really thought that it wouldn't drop below like 0.15, 0.18. And I was like, oh, I'll be fine. I can always sell it if I need to and just get my liquidity back. Nope. It's very
and
risky.
also what's hot today is not necessarily hot tomorrow. And the NFT space is really incredibly fickle. So it just takes one step out of line, and all of a sudden your community has got pitchforks and they're trying to burn down your fence, you know. And so yeah, man.
And
I mean,
the
it's
trading
just
world is it's different. Like you literally need a seller. If we're talking about Forex or stocks or crypto, you can, 6 traders can't move the market in stocks and crypto and Forex. Like an entire bank has to liquidate their whole position to crash the market kind of thing. Like I forget how many millions of dollars or billions of dollars it is to move a Forex market 1 pip, which is basically nothing. It's like literally billions of dollars. And so it's different. Like I love that aspect. So I'm like, oh, I can literally look at this chart and have faith that maybe like there is something to it versus NFTs. Fucking Machi could just blow the whole thing out of the water just from one trade, or one person, sweeps the floor and buys 30 of them. And now like the floor has doubled and everyone who just happened to have it listed just got a payday. And it's so degenerate that it's funny because like you can like luck your way up, I feel like, and you can do it in other markets too, but like in NFT specifically, like you can get so stupid lucky. Like think about the Pepe thing, dude. 100, what was it, 100 to 100K?
yeah.
Like that is unfucking real, and those opportunities are they're literally everywhere. I don't know what I'm trying to think of. Like I made a tweet about this yesterday about Pepe's coin, and I was like, okay, if it's truly even like I just didn't know it was possible for a meme coin to explode like that in this kind of market, but now that we know it is successfully, it's been done a couple of times. I'm like, all right, what else are we missing? Like, okay, so there's no more meme. It's like I'm trying to do another meme that level. Maybe there's not, but like, what else could take off that would make sense? That maybe it already dropped a while ago, but it's crashed all the way back down. That I could think to pick up because I was thinking about the election coming up, and I'm like, okay, obviously Donald Trump trading cards volume 1 is sort of on my radar, sort of. But also I'm looking for like a Trump coin that might pop out or something like that. But I'm like looking for like the world markets. I'm like, okay, what could potentially be dropped randomly? Who do I need to be following to find that?
So
When
that's something I should show you guys one day. I mean, I've got a beautiful collection of gold coins, mostly Mandela, because on his 90th birthday there was coins that came out, and I've got a really really nice collection of coins. I should.
Wait, you talking about real coins or crypto
real
coins?
real?
Oh, I was
real
talking
coins.
about shit coins.
Oh, I thought you meant like a Trump coin. I don't think. No, he won't launch a token. He's already in so much legal hot water.
Not him. Some random person just dropping a collection called Trump
but
President.
Not linked to him.
Yeah. The ones that you buy and then 30 minutes later you sell and then you never get back in because it's going to get.
I misunderstood. I thought you meant like maybe you're waiting for like a commemorative coin, like a physical coin, a Trump coin or whatever. No, I'm actually quite impressed with the Trump trading cards. I really am. They've maintained volume,
bro. Their whole. I remember when they first dropped, I was like, they kind of did this kind of well. I remember when they dropped it, I was like, this isn't bad, but that's some decent incentives. There's a lot of NFTs there, but if you've got a brand with this big of a following, I remember saying on camera, I was like, I'm not mad at this. I'm not mad at this at all. The art's kind of cringy.
Have you heard of even a single person that actually got what they said? I know they were, and I'm sure they will deliver, but has it happened yet? Have the Zoom calls and the suckers and all of that happened yet?
No idea. I don't think anyone
I haven't heard anyone say, well, if you bought one for a couple $100, you do care, don't you?
Yes, I don't.
I mean, if you pitch up to the golf course now and he's not there, you care.
I know some people said like their parents wanted to go to dinner, so they were like, I'll buy, I forget how many it was, like 10 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And I know some people bought it for that reason. I have no clue if they've delivered on any of that stuff. Actually, let me
I'm
see.
sure they will. I mean, he's big into not having bad publicity. I'm sure they will if they haven't.
I don't even know what I would type in. Did Trump?
Okay, while you're doing that, I'm going to move on to the next story. So this one is just quite interesting. We've spoken about Ticket Pro and NFTs and ticketing. So we've got Sports Illustrated that's launching their own ticketing feature, box office ticketing feature. So it says one of the most renowned US sports publications recently launched an NFT ticketing platform called Box Office. This platform is built on Polygon, which is an Ethereum scaling tool and is designed to offer event owners, organizers, and promoters an innovative way to engage with their attendees through NFTs. So they've developed SI Tickets. It's so Sports Illustrated Tickets in collaboration with Consensus. And they're now going to offer tickets to events. According to David Lane, who's the CEO of SI Tickets, primary goal of the marketplace is to disrupt the primary ticket market. So they're going to be taking on guys like Ticket Pro. And yeah, just again, a really cool use case for NFTs. We've always said tickets works well. To token gate an event or whatever, NFTs or blockchain technology is really absolutely perfect for that, because a lot more secure than a physical ticket that you would usually get, which can easily be forged. On top of that, it can't really be lost as easily, and it's literally as easy as scanning it when you get there. And then afterwards, you've got something collectible that's digital opposed to something collectible that's physical. And we have seen the value of the physical tickets that people kept for, like a Michael Jackson first concert or something like that, have huge value. And it's going to be interesting to see whether that plays through into the digital world of ticketing as well. But yeah, I love this use case, and it's good to see other guys involved. We know Ticketmaster, we know Ticket Pro, we know all those guys, but now we've got Sports Illustrated getting in on it as well.
Yeah, I just did a review, or I'm preparing for a review right now on Ala Yoga, and they did an NFT drop that was linked with their real life clothes. So they're a normal yoga wellness company, and they did a normal special edition drop kind of thing, or not a normal some kind of special edition drop. And with it, after a couple weeks, you could go and use your receipt to claim the NFT. And it doesn't look like there's like a marketplace for it. So like with VCon, you can go to the floor price and be like, oh, it went up and down or whatever. And I think the days of that are probably going to end soon for like tickets, because you don't want your ticket NFTs to be like that, like a trading thing where you go, oh, I should have bought last week. Because like, yes, that happens right now online with like, if you buy 6 weeks in advance, you pay $129.99. You buy a few weeks later, now you pay $150 kind of thing, and it goes up all the way up till the day of launch. But that's pretty standard. With NFTs, it can pump up and down. There can be one news article that sends up or down. And with Ala Yoga, I don't think there was like a marketplace for it, because they don't want those NFTs to be something that people trade. It's just like, if you buy this, you get the access through an NFT. It'll probably go to your email. I imagine that's where we're headed for a lot of tickets. It's just going to be you'll get an email, digital receipt, click this to claim your NFT. Boom, it's safe. Just like adding something to, like, for people who have Apple or an iPhone, you can add like your plane ticket to your Apple Wallet, and it pops up within your Apple Wallet app, and it's there. And it's like, you can't get rid of it. And that's very much like the NFT. I just think that the back end will be replaced with it. Just makes more sense. But I don't think they'll be trading. Like, VCon tickets aren't something I would want to be traded if I was Gary Vee. Even though like the idea is kind of funny, it's like, yeah, but that's only practical in a world of degenerate degens trading. Like, I don't know if I would want that, but.
So, Kate, we've got a suggestion here from a viewer in our suggestion box. It's more criticism. Vincent says, you look very strange without your glasses on. It's weird. What's going on?
Put them on a little bit. I'm going to start diversifying my content and choosing certain videos not to wear them, because
diversifying my content.
Diversifying content, glasses on and glasses
do exactly the same show, but without glasses on, and the next week. So why did you do that? Now I'm diversifying. I know what you mean. You are really going to diversify, I understand. But it's just funny, like, if you just did the exact same video, like a review on the exact same projects, and the 1 week you had glasses, the next week you do the same thing without glasses, and it's like, no, I'm diversifying.
Like an alternative version where I'm like extra fucking ruthless with the glasses on or off, and then I switch it off.
Yeah.
But I do want to, because like obviously these glasses aren't gonna be the one forever. Like I'm gonna at some point upgrade these, but I also want to be at a place where I don't have to wear the glasses for everything, because I like wearing the glasses. But yeah, I look fine without them too. But you know, these
look great.
identify. But in the beginning of building a brand, I think it's important to have things like this. And as you get older, I mean, as you grow, like, you know how Frank has like 3 NFTs he picks. He has a Ute, and there's 2 DeGods he likes to choose between, and he just flip flops between the 3. I think I'm going to start doing that. So like some videos will have them propped up like this. Sometimes they'll be on, sometimes they'll be off. But I want to get to a point where I'm just recognizable with or without the glasses, kind of thing. The glasses.
I don't know. Maybe it's because I know you, but I mean, I don't know the. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I was thinking, you know, you said you want to design like a upgraded version that you could sort of mass reproduce. So I was thinking to do something like more, I don't know, linked to it, but like more sort of sophisticated. So I know they've served their purpose, and I know that in the beginning they weren't meant to be what they are and whatever. I understand everything. But I'm saying like sort of like similar shape, same sort of colored lenses to keep it the same. But instead of having your hat on top of it, maybe just red and yellow on the top of the actual glasses, so that it almost looks like normal sunglasses, and you could probably almost build a brand of it versus it. So yeah, I get what you're saying. I mean, you want to slowly get it in and out, but I'm happy to work with you on that just as a friend. Because yeah, I mean, my day job is branding, and I can definitely help you.
I mean, these are impractical. Like, I can't. There's no like
exactly
that I can wear.
And also, you want to be taken more seriously. You want to have a pair of glasses that you can take more seriously. I mean, I know you. I understand the story of the glasses, but honestly and truly, if you rang my doorbell and I'd never seen you before, and you had those glasses on, I would be like, "What is wrong with this person?" Right? I'm saying for the very first time. So I'm just saying, like, as you
know, there's like certain styles of content where this is perfect for it, like for certain funny streams, or if I'm doing like playing a character for something or whatever it is, like these make sense to add in. I just don't want to like have to have them on, you know. So
yeah,
anyways,
for sure. Anyway, I'm happy to work with you. And then I've got my last story. Before we do it, anyone on Spaces, feel free to request to speak. And after the story, we're happy to talk to you. If you're not happy to speak, or you're in bed and with earphones, you don't want to wake up the missus or whatever it may be, feel free to type it in the comments on Spaces. If you're on YouTube, you can ask us anything you want in the comments as well. So we're going to do one more story, and then we'll take any questions if there are. And if not, we'll end it there. So don't be shy, guys. Even if you just want to say hello, please feel free. So the last story, just another general story that I think is quite bullish. Sotheby's, who we know is an auction house, been very big in driving forward NFTs in the art space, or art NFTs. Them together with Christie's are really the 2 auction houses that have embraced NFTs. And we've now got Sotheby's announcing the launch of their own NFT marketplace. Obviously, only going to be an art marketplace, so they're not really trying to compete with Blur or OpenSea. It's not that type of thing. But they've made a statement, and on the 1st of May, and the site is going to launch 13 notable digital artists, including Xcopy, Tyler Hobbs, Claire Silver, and various others that are well known in the space. And there's going to be a collection out on each of them. They did drop this nice video saying the next evolution of Sotheby's Metaverse, and they really have chosen some premier artists in the space. And because they've been so notable in the NFT space, Sotheby's, they really do know who the big artists are, and they've got a lot of them here. And then you'll be able to buy and sell the artwork on their own marketplace. And I do think as we continue to see this marketplace war between OpenSea and Blur, where the thing that they are fighting over is whether or not to enforce creator royalties. It does make sense, and I did say this almost 3 months ago, that there are going to be a lot of people's own marketplaces popping up, because there's no way for artists to enforce royalties on the platforms anymore. It only makes sense that they're going to build their own platforms, because they survive off the royalties. So Sotheby's is doing that. There is going to be a 2.5% royalty on all sales that are happening there. I imagine what their thought is that look, an X copy would much rather launch on us where we can promise him his 2.5% than he would on OpenSea. And they're probably right. And if they can get these artists to solely launch on their marketplace, I think that this has a very good chance of being sustainable long term, because we do know, especially with artists, that they've been very upset that OpenSea sort of stabbed them in the back and went back on what they said. OpenSea initially said they stand by the creators, and then when Blur came out, they said we forced to drop the royalties
Yeah.
now. So now we're seeing Sotheby's coming out saying, hold on, if you're an artist, you want royalties enforced, come to us, we will ensure that it's done. So very interesting.
Yeah, and artists are like notorious, I guess in a good and bad way, for like they move where the money's going, bro. Like they're trying to make money. Like the joke about broke artists kind of thing, or they're like, I forget what the joke is specifically, but like all artists are broke kind of thing. That's like based on a ton of fucking truth. Like it is very, very, very difficult to make money as an artist, especially if you're trying to be like a full-time painter or whatever. Like you're basically a freelance drawer. And I'm like, that's difficult to maintain over a long period of time because, you know, art's something you got to like pull out, you know, sometimes. And if you're not feeling particularly creative, then like all your stuff is based on how creative you feel. It's not one of those things that you can just poop out sometimes. Like, so it's very difficult. So anyways, what I was saying, my point there was that like artists will move over to another platform because they're not making any money most of the time. So if there's going to a place where they can actually get their royalty now, they'll likely move over, bro. But like in the trading world, it's a lot harder because you're probably still making money on whichever platform. So they're just going to stick with what they know. But artists, dude, they will move over because there's an opportunity and they know it.
Yeah, I think they will, especially when it's a notable brand such as Sotheby's. You know, because the worry is I'm going to move over to marketplace, but are there buyers or are there sellers there? And if there's no one there, what's the point, you know, of getting royalties? I'd rather get my art into people's hands, you know, through the mass marketing of OpenSea or Blur. But yeah, going to be interesting. I like it, and it's good. It's good to see where the space is going, you know, especially from our perspective. Art and NFTs is another perfect marriage. It really is. Even like music and NFTs and content and NFTs, you know, I really do believe that there's certain things that blockchain technology is perfect for, and art is one of them. I really do, because you always now, when you want to buy a really nice art piece from a very notable, like a Picasso or whatever, even if the biggest guys in the space who know what they're doing have said it's legit, you actually don't know 100% if it's legit. You
Yeah.
still don't. There are guys out there who paid $10 million for what they think is a whatever, a Raphael or whatever, and it's not, right? Whereas with NFTs, in theory, if you know what you're doing and if it's done correctly and the smart contract is correct, which can be audited, you can prove that from when it was done until every transaction from then until the end of time. So it just makes sense. You know, it's something that's a great use case is art and NFTs. So yeah, man.
Yeah, I have a
But at
statue.
that time,